Don't you just love it when technology comes together? How about let's try playing the intro music 5 times all at the same time? Fantastic. Brilliant. Hello, 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 and welcome to that rather impromptu start. What a fantastic way to start a live stream by just absolutely bombarding your audience with different versions of the intro music. How are we all? I hope everyone is keeping well. Yeah, this has just really been a bit of a whirlwind last month. So welcome to the Sound Simple Studio first live stream. Isn't it strange to say that? Sound Simple Studio. Yeah, I still haven't kind of got used to the name change, but it's been an absolutely chaotic last month since the last live stream. So, a couple of updates. So since the last live stream, I now no longer have a day job, which is fantastic because it gives me more time to focus on Sound Simple Studio, quite frankly. So as is the case with a lot of people through lockdown, bills need to be paid, family needs to be looked after. So I had a nice little day job, but that is no more, which is brilliant because it's really kind of released me to really focus on the music and the audio side of things, which is just great. But it's a bit scary, a bit nervous, but exciting all at the same time. So I have got so much lined up now that it's really kind of such exciting times in the Sound Simple Studio. I cannot tell you, how excited I am, to be quite frank. So really looking forward to what the future holds. I'll put some links in the chat, so if anyone wants to support the channel, there's the link there through the buymeacoffee.com account. So just buy me a coffee, any support would be greatly appreciated. And all funds raised just go back into the Sound Simple Studio through buying gear and different bits and bobs. So any support there will be greatly appreciated. Fiverr.com, what an absolute gem that's been. So for some of you who may or may not know, I've been offering a mix and mastering critiquing service through Fiverr.com, and it's a great service. I love doing it, and I call it critiquing. It's feedback service. Critiquing sometimes can sound a little bit more harsh than it actually is, and critiquing, it's one of those services, but I love doing it, and it's really getting into the nitty-gritty, listening to your music and providing feedback on your mix or master. And there's varying different services I offer, so whether it's through just providing the written account, or it could be through providing some form of video tuition, or it could be providing a video call. We could jump on a video call and discuss the feedback on your track. So it's all through Fiverr.com, and there's links in the chat. And I love doing it. It really kind of gets me listening to lots of different music and giving some feedback to lots of different artists and engineers. And I love music, and it's just really something I feel quite passionate about. So if you're interested in mixing and mastering critiquing service, it's through Fiverr.com, and there are links in the chat down below. Another thing that I've been getting involved in is with OBS. So it's another service that I offer through Fiverr, and this is something that come up through the Facebook groups, on the Presonus Facebook groups. And I started to meet some people who are in the voiceover community, and the Studio One voiceover community is quite large. Check them out on Facebook. If you have a look at, I think it's Studio One narrators and voiceover artists, and it's run by Don Barnes. It's a great community. But I started to speak to a few people who were having issues with OBS, and I spend a lot of my time on OBS doing live streams and video captures and all sorts. So I started to speak to a few of them, helping them set up certain things for their video conference calls. So the voiceover community, they do a lot of conference presentations, etc. So it's helping them set up OBS, and it kind of just got us thinking, why don't we offer this service a bit more formally? So I've been offering those services through Fiverr.com. So if you ever get to a stage where you feel that you're using OBS and you need help setting OBS up, whether you want to use it in a presentation mode, whether it's through speaking to clients over video conferencing, or you want to do presentations, then it's all in the link down below in the chat, Fiverr.com, and it's an OBS setup. And yeah, I love doing that as well. It's great fun. A couple of clients of mine. I was speaking to someone in Taiwan this week and Malaysia last week, as well as clients in America. It's really something. It's a service that I offer globally, which is great fun as well. You may have seen the video that I released yesterday about the IK Multimedia group buy scheme. It is amazing. I do love the group buy, and it's the more people who get involved in the group buy, the better it is, because the way it works is if you have 2,000 participants, you buy a plugin and get 2 free plugins up to the value of the plugin that you paid. So if you buy a plugin for €150, then you'll get 2 free plugins if 2,000 participants enter the scheme. If 3,000 into the scheme, you'll then get 3 free plugins, 4,000, 4 plugins, and so on and so on. So the more people that enter, the more free plugins you get. It is as simple as that. The only caveat, as I say, is that the free plugins you receive cannot be valued more than the plugin that you buy. So if you say you buy a plugin for €150, every single plugin, free plugin that you get as part of the group buy must be €150 or less in value. So there's a link in the chat down below. It is an affiliate link, but it does not cost you any more money. So there is no additional cost to you. It is an affiliate commission that I will receive paid through the affiliate network by IK Multimedia. It does not inflate the cost to you. It's just a small affiliate commission that I will receive, just goes towards supporting the channel. So that is the IK group buy. And the last couple of things is I'm really looking for some more material to feature on the channel. So if you've got any songs that you want help with or support with, or we'd like to have featured where we can do some kind of master intuition or maybe something mix orientated, please get in touch. If you email soundsimplestudio@gmail.com, I'm going to put this in the chat down below, then please get in touch and let's have a chat and see what we can do. It's quite difficult to it's quite difficult to get different material to use for tuition, and sometimes clients are a little bit reluctant to allow permission, which is fair enough, to use some of their material. And I've been a big advocate of the Cambridge Music Technology website, but the rules of using that are that it's not really designed for it's not really designed for YouTube, quite frankly. There is a part of the Cambridge Music Technology website that says you can use it for educational purposes, but in doing so, even though my channel is not monetized, I have had some flags come up on some of the videos where I have used songs from the Cambridge Music Technology website. So I can only assume, therefore, that it's not really something that I can use. So if anyone's got any material they would like me to feature in any of the videos, please get in touch. As I say, soundsimplestudio@gmail.com. Let's have a chat about how we can use some of your music in the channel and on some of the feature videos in due course. And lastly, studio updates. I am going through quite a big upgrade very soon in terms of the way that the room looks, how it's being set up, some of the technology involved, and some of the bits of gear. I'm going for a bit of an upgrade, so more to follow in due course. Now, let's get to this month's topic, which is budget-friendly plugins. Before we do that, I'm going to have a quick slurp of my drink now. I've gone for a cheeky little beer, which is a session IPA, and it's the Siren Lumina, and it's absolutely fantastic. So let's have a cheeky slurp. Fantastic. So, budget-friendly plugins. Why did I want to feature budget-friendly plugins this month? Well, quite frankly, there are so many plugins available, and as part of the process, I really wanted to kind of give you guys as much information so you can understand which ones are worth investing in. Because there's so many different options out there. Some are great, some are not so great. And, without really trying to go down the route of saying you should avoid these ones and avoid these ones, let's really try and highlight the ones that you should be spending your time investing in. I appreciate there are lots of different budgets. So what I've tried to do is keep this very much budget friendly. But I'm going to do a separate whether I do a separate video or do another live stream around free plugins. All of these options that I'm going to go through today are paid for. However, they are budget friendly. So another thing I'm very appreciative of, there's lots of different use cases. So, you know, there's so many different angles to look at this from, whether you're looking at it from an engineering viewpoint, whether you're looking at it from a musician's viewpoint. So I've tried to, it's very much kind of be orientated around the engineering viewpoint, but with an element of musicianship around it. So if you, someone who does singing, songwriting, and wants to record, mix and master your own music, there should be something in here for you as well. And yeah, there's lots of great plugins out there, but these are the ones that are very much going to be my recommendations based on my own experiences. So what I just wanted to do first and foremost is actually just set out a few caveats. And the caveats are, they're going to be mixing and mastering focused. The plugins have to be either a bundle or a multi-use plugin. So it can be a channel strip, but it has to have add-ons. So it can't just be a standard channel strip. It has to have add-ons or modules that you can change. So interchangeable modules in the plugin. Price, no more than $250, but it must have 5 or more plugins or modules included. So $250, it's around about £200. It's a big investment for a lot of people, but you can get some really good bundles for around that price. But I really wanted it to be all encompassing. So, you know, some of these bundles are free plugins. Well, that's not really good enough. I really wanted to get this in 5 or more plugins so you can really get the most for your money. And the approximate cost due to, yeah, so I've put in here $250. Some of these I've had to approximate because of the obviously the British pound to dollar conversion or euro conversion. So it's $250. The plugins are not allowed to be on sale. So this rules out a lot of the Waves plugins, a lot of the Waves bundles. They seem to be forever on sale, but the thing is I can't guarantee what price they will be at any given day. So I've excluded all sale bundles, no subscriptions. The bundles must be multi-platforms, they must be Mac and PC, VST, AU and AAX, and something that I have experience of. So I must have used the bundles or be able to use them in a demo or something like that. So I've really kind of given myself quite a few caveats here, and I've come up with some really great options which I think you will love. So let's quickly have a look now. If I flick over to the next screen. Okay, so the first one here, we are going to look at the Tokyo Dawn Labs, and it's the TDR Everything Bundle. And I've featured the Tokyo Dawn Labs plugins on the channel before. These are absolutely fantastic. The Nova is the dynamic EQ, which is just absolutely brilliant plugin. Now, the good thing about the TDR plugins is a lot of these versions, they have free versions as well. So if you want to try some of these plugins out, you can try some of the free versions. So just to give you an overview here, this is €200, which is around $235. It's the most expensive bundle here, but it is great nonetheless. There are 6 plugins in this bundle, in fact. So you've got the TDR Molot, which is a compressor. You have got the Limiter 6, and then we've got the Slick EQ mastering version. We've got the Nova, and then we've also got the Kotelnikov, which is a great compressor, and then we've got the Slick EQ. And the great thing about these versions, these are classified as the gentleman's editions, and they are more feature rich than the free versions. They really are great. The thing I like about these are they are precise. So if you want a precise, let's say a precise EQ, they're fantastic for that. I really find the controls really tactile. So one of the things when, certainly for mastering, you want to be quite precise with your moves, and you don't really want to be making big sweeping changes, and I really think these plugins allow you to do that, because it's the way that the knobs are stepped that's really kind of, you know, you can really get quite slow with the way that the knobs change, which allows for some great precision work. So they're great for mastering, but so they're multi-use. The Nova, it's billed as a dynamic EQ, but you can use it as a standard EQ. It's really good. The Slick EQ as well. It's just, although it's not technically an analogic style EQ, it does give you a lot of different flavours, which is really, really useful. Kotelnikov is great as a standard compressor, but it's also good as a bus compressor as well, as is the Molot. And then to have a limiter thrown in there for good measure is just great. So there's lots of different options. It is really, really flexible. And if you want to try some of these plugins, then say there are free versions. One of the things I just wanted to kind of make you aware of is there is the delta function. And the delta function on these plugins, the delta function allows you to hear the changes that you are making. So for example, if I was to use the Slick EQ and I was to have a, let's say a 5 dB boost at 2K, then if I was to engage the delta function, it would only play back that 5 dB boost at 2K. It would take everything out, so you're only really listening for the changes. Now it's great for an EQ, but this is even better for compression. So if you're using a compressor and you really want to focus on a certain instrument, then you could use the apply the compression settings that you think are going to really suit that particular instrument. Click in the delta, but you can hear in real time what the compressor is doing to that particular instrument, which is just a great function. So that's really good, and yeah, these are really great for some precise processing. So great bundle. Check this out. It's €200 and it's the Tokyo Dawn Labs Everything Bundle. The next in the list is the Waves Power Pack, and I'll be quite honest with you, I was a little bit dubious about including a Waves bundle in the pack, and the reason being is the Waves update plan. So if you don't know about the Waves update plan, so when you buy a Waves bundle, you buy them at whatever price you can get them at. So this particular bundle is featured. I've included it at the price of $199. Now, as you can see on screen at the moment, this is available for $59.99. But the thing with Waves bundles is they always seem to be on sale. But the thing that doesn't make them budget friendly, in my opinion, is this update plan. So with the update plan, you effectively buy a brand new plugin and you get a year's worth of update plan with that plugin. So any updates they do to that plugin over the next 12 months, you will get as part of your initial purchase fee. But after 12 months, once that plugin updates, you now need to buy a new update plan. And that's the way that the Waves update plan works. Now, if you've got one or two plugins, it may not be too bad. It might only be as small as $12 per plugin. But let's say, for example, if you've got a lot of different plugins and you buy, say, a big Waves bundle, you could be looking up to $240. They do say it's capped at $240, but still, that's a lot of money. That's basically you're buying a new bundle every year at that rate. So to say budget friendly and then have that big update plan, for me, yeah, I don't know. I've got mixed opinions on it. I'm not particularly a fan of it, but it is what it is. But the Power Pack, it's on offer for $59.99, but the regular price is $199. So even if it's not on sale, it would still fall into the criteria that I've set here. And yeah, you get a good lot for your money here. So you get 10 different plugins. You get the C1 compressor, the de-esser, which I've used for years. It's great. The L1 Ultra Maximizer, which is, you liken it to like a limiter, and then you've got the Q10 equalizer. So you've got a really good equalizer there with lots of different bands. True Verb. This has been featured in many a song over the years. But then this is probably the one that's really well set up for musicians as well as engineers, because you get a lot of other things, like you get the Super Tap, which is like a delay, you get a doubler, you get a convolution reverb, stereo imager. I'm not a big fan of stereo imagers, but there is one included. And the Renaissance Axe, my understanding is a Renaissance Axe, this is it's a compressor aimed more towards guitars, but it's, with a lot of these plugins, they can be used on lots of different sources. So having 10 plugins as part of this bundle is quite good, and there's something in there to really cater for everyone. So you've got compression, you've got EQ, you've got de-essing, you've got a limiter, you've got reverbs, delays, all sorts in there. So it's quite a good bundle. At the regular price, it's $199, but say at the moment this is on offer for $59.99. let's just have a quick look. Let's go back and have a quick look at the... Okay, if you've got any questions at all, please drop me a question down below. I'm looking at the chat as we go through the live stream. So if you do have any questions at all, then please let me know. Okay, next in line, it wouldn't be the right if I didn't go ahead and have a look at the Presonus Fat Channel XT. This is a great plugin. Now, if you are a Sphere member, a Presonus Sphere member, then this one's not going to be for you, because you are going to have this and all the add-ons as part of your Sphere membership. If you have Studio One 5 Professional and you don't have the added bundles, you will have the Fat Channel XT, but you won't have all the add-ons. They're paid for separately. But this is also available as a third-party plugin as well. So if you don't use Studio One, you can get the Fat Channel XT and all the add-ons, and you can, they're available in VST, AU, and AAX format. So cross-platform, which is great. So the Fat Channel XT is technically it's a channel strip, but it's a little bit more than a channel strip because the EQ and compression modules are interchangeable. So it's probably what I would classify as the least flexible out of the plugins, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You have a gate, you have a compression module, you have an EQ module, and you have a limiter. And as part of it, you can also use I think it's the gate has the high and low pass filters. So you've got quite, you can do a fair bit with this channel strip. But the good thing is you can change out the compression and EQ modules. Now, the stock price here on the screen there says £53, so it's $74 approximately, and the bundles, most of the bundles are available for $85. So if you look at some of these here, so if you look at, you've got the complete collections, which are a little bit more pricey, but if you look at the Classic Studio bundle, and if you look at the Classic Studio bundle here, there was another one which I saw, if I scroll down to the bottom here, it doesn't seem to be on this page as well, but there's actually another one. So you've got the vintage channel and you've got the Classic Studio bundles. They're all $85. So even if you buy the Fat Channel XT and you buy one of the bundles, you're getting quite a few modules there for, say, less than $150, which is great. As I say, it is the least flexible, but it could be a blessing in disguise, because one of the things, if you're given a bundle and you've got so many different options, sometimes, especially if you're a beginner to mixing and mastering, having lots of different options may not be a good thing. So having those restrictions actually could be a bit of a blessing in disguise. The add-ons they're all analog emulations based on some form of famous processor, but they sound absolutely amazing. They really are great. I really do highly recommend them. I use them a lot. You would have seen them featured on the channel quite a bit, and they're great. They really are great. And don't forget, just because it's a channel strip style module doesn't mean you can't stack them. So you could have multiple uses. If you wanted in a particular chain, let's say you wanted the tube EQ in the Baxendale, there's nothing to say that you couldn't have maybe the Baxendale at the top of the chain and maybe the tube EQ further down the chain in another instance of the Fat Channel. So just because it does have limitations doesn't mean you can't stack these processors as well. So that is option number 3, which is the Presonus Fat Channel XT. Now, number 4 is the PSP Infinistrip. And once again, this is very much along the same kind of lines. It's a channel strip style, so a rack style multi-use plugin. But I was really quite impressed with this one. Now, I've not really used this one too much. There is a 30-day demo that comes with it. I've downloaded the demo and I've played around with it a bit, and I've really been impressed with the results so far. But it's, yeah, you can do quite a lot with this. So whereas the Fat Channel is quite restricted in terms of you have effectively 4 modules. So you have the gate, the compressor, EQ, and limiter. You have much more with this. You can have effectively up to 9 modules. So the way this works is you've got 7 dedicated slots for you to add one module from each type of processing. So you can go through, this includes, oh, there's loads with it. You literally get, what's it, preamps, filters, compressors, EQs, limiters, and then you get other things such as expanders, gates, de-essers, loads. So you can have 7 dedicated slots. So you can have, let's say, a preamp, a filter, compressor, EQ. If you want another EQ, you can then add that as one of the special flexible insert slots. So you can really kind of, really play with this to your heart's content. Lots of different options, and it's all movable. It's literally just drag and drop, which I thought was great. It's probably, if you think about something like this is obviously going to be something competitively put against something like the Virtual Mix Rack by Slate Digital. I would say that the Virtual Mix Rack probably has got more options, but once again, just because it's got more options doesn't mean it's necessarily better, and there are plenty of options in this. So you could really kind of get in there and make some great music with this. I think this would be fantastic on vocals, especially if you've got like the preamp sections in there. But yeah, there's so much you'd be able to use this for. I think it's a great option. It does say it's 0 latency, so full impacts without causing any issues. I can't really vouch for that because I've not really used it too in depth, but from what I have used it, and it does sound great. It works perfectly, and I've got some really great results. So if you like the analog workflow, this is going to be a great option for you. There is a demo for 30 days, and I think it's certainly worth a try. This is priced at $199. So I think that's really, for what you get as well, for all of those different, for 9 effectively slots, a 9 plug-in chain for $199, I think that's a great price. And the last option, so rounding at number 5, I've gone for the Acorn Digital Mastering Suite. Now, it's a bit of a different one, this one. So a lot of you will know me from the for a lot of the mastering stuff that I've done. So this is one that I think is a great addition to anyone's toolkit, and it's you do get quite a bit for your money. So you have a compressor, you get a multi-band compressor, you get a limiter, you get an EQ and diver. But one of the great things about these plugins are you get a lot of full features in them. So for example, if we take a look at some of the screenshots here, let's take a look at the EQ. You can get right down into the nitty gritty, so you can mess around with the analyzers, you can play with the phase modes. If you then look at some of the compressors, you can once again start looking at latency and how latency is affected. You can look at the release and the hold times, so you can really kind of get into the really into the nitty gritty with these types of plugins. One of the things I noted was visually, I really like the way that these look. They are not. I would classify the UI on something like this as understated, but really functional, and it's not all all looks and no substance, but it's also not so basic that you get put off by using it. I think this is a great look. It really does the job well. You can get right into the nitty gritty. Oversampling. You even got things like oversampling in there. So if you're you're worried about things like aliasing, then you can really get into the oversampling of the plugins as well. So these are really good full-featured plugins. Another thing I just wanted to kind of touch on when it comes to these plugins, it's from a company called Acorn Digital, and this is the mastering suite. But let's be clear, the dynamics, this compressor and the EQ will be just as happy being used as mixed EQs and mixed compressors. That is not an issue at all. But Acorn Digital also produce another bit of software called Acoustica, and it's Acoustica. The latest edition is 7.3. And Acoustica is very much kind of like it's deemed as like a broadcast suite, an editing suite, it's a mastering suite, but it kind of does a lot more than that. It's not what I would classify as a fully fledged DAW, so it's probably not something where you want to put a load of multi-tracks in and start mixing down and things like that. But if you're getting into the real post-processing or repair or mastering, or even with the broadcasting, you're capturing dialogue, you need to do a lot of editing, it's perfectly designed for that. And some of the features available in the Acoustica 7.3 are things like spectral editing. So it really is an advanced editing software, and what it kind of does is it fills in the gap that a lot of the DAWs don't have. So for instance, say Studio One, if I wanted to do any spectral editing, I can't do that in Studio One. So it kind of really fills in that gap there. So if there's any repair work or that kind of thing, it would be great for that. Studio One's pretty great at its dialogue capture and its editing, but once again, with the broadcast folks out there, this could be a good option as well to kind of complement Studio One if you want something that's more isotope RX without spending the £800-900 whatever it is. Then maybe this is a good option, because once again, this is I think this is available at $235, but I'll come on to that in a little bit more. I'll come on to that more in a second, because I will mention that in the honourable mentions as well. So the Acorn Digital, so it's the mastering suite, but say there's lots of different things that you can get involved in with the Acorn Digital stuff. Before I come on to the honourable mentions, just going to quickly look, see if anyone's left a question at all. Okay, no questions there. That's fine, no problems at all. So honourable mentions then. So I'm going to go back to here. So there are a few honourable mentions that I want to just go through. Isotope Neutron Advanced. Now, this hasn't been included because it's on sale, and the caveat was that I was not going to include any plugins or bundles that are on sale. But at the moment, as of today, which is the 10th of August 2021, Neutron Advanced is available for $199 on the Isotope website. Now this is quite interesting because the Neutron modules in the advanced software are available as individual plugins inside of your DAW. So if you wanted something like Isotope Neutron, but you didn't want to use the Neutron software, then you could buy the advanced at $199 as of today, and then have the modules available as plugins in your DAW of choice. So that is an honourable mention. Acoustica 7.3, I am going to be covering this in more detail because I think this is a great option for a lot of different people. But one thing just to point out, the mastering suite, there were 5 plugins in that bundle. So the mastering suite was $152. Acoustica 7.3 is $235. And you get all of the plugins in the mastering suite, and you get an additional 12 plugins, so you get all of the repair and restoration plugins at the same time. So if you spend that little bit more money and buy the full version, the premium version of Acoustica 7.3, it's $235, but you get an extra 12 plugins. So for an extra, what's that, $70-80, you get quite a bit more for your money. Even if you don't use the actual Acoustica 7.3 software, you just use the plugins, maybe it's an option to worth looking at. And the last one is the IK Multimedia Group Buy Scheme. I've included this in there for 2 reasons. Mixbox. So the Mixbox is very much like the Slate Virtual Mix Rack, and it's very much like the Infinistrip by PSP. So it's one of these rack style formats where you can add the 500 style modules in your chain of choice. Currently it is available for €199, so it's within that $250 range, and if you join the group buy, obviously you're then going to get the free plugins off the back of it as well. But then don't forget, you've also got the T-Rax options, so the T-Rax 5 and T-Rax 5 SE. T-Rax 5 SE, you get 10 plugins as part of that package. It's €149 as of today's date, and it's also part of the group buy. So once again, if you're looking for a really good budget-friendly bundle, it's something really worth thinking about. The group buy is only available up until the 31st of August. There is links in the chat down below, and please don't forget it is an affiliate link, so if you do use the link, I will earn a small commission, but at no additional cost to you. But it will go to support the channel. Joining the group buy could be a really good value option for a lot of people. When I checked this mold in, it hit the 2,000 entrance mark, so that means you get 2 free plugins. So you are literally, at the moment, is buy 1 get 2 free. By the end of the month, I'm expecting it to go up a fair bit. It is not uncommon, although not guaranteed, it is not uncommon to maybe receive 3, 4, maybe even 5 free plugins. Once again, it's not guaranteed, but it's not uncommon. The more people that enter the group buy, the better it is for everyone, because everyone gets more free plugins. So there are links in the chat down below, so if you want to enter the group buy, then please, links in the description, and you will also be supporting the channel at the same time. There are plenty more options. I think it's just fair to make a few points. There are plenty more options out there, but these are the ones that I've pretty much tried and tested. The only exception was the Infinistrip. I've heard fantastic things about the PSP AudioWare plugins, and you know, and just by trying it for that small amount of time I've had with it, I could easily, and I will easily use it. I think the only thing that's probably preventing me from buying it at the moment is the IK Multimedia Group buy. And to get the mix box in there, would I need both? Possibly not. But I would, I would have no issues in getting the Infinistrip. It looked really well set out. So I think it's the kind of thing that kind of really lends itself well to a vocal chain. So if you really want something that's going to, bring your vocals to life, especially when you've got those preamps and, all that good saturation in there, and certainly with the DSs as well, it could really lend itself well to vocal chains. So, I think that's a great thing. But there are lots of other options out there. What do you guys think? What do you guys use? What's your thoughts? Have you got any thoughts of bundles or groups or plugins or certain things that you would like to share with the rest of the community? $250 or less. That's the only stipulation, and it can't be on sale. What are you guys using? Have you got anything else you'd like to share? Be really keen to understand what you guys are using as well. So please let me know in the chat down below. That is basically it. That's all I've got for this week for the budget friendly plugins. I'm going to follow this up, and I'm going to do maybe a more, let's say, a higher end one, maybe somewhere between, maybe do a 500 level, maybe do a 1000 level. I'm also going to do a free one, because there are some great free options out there. Once again, with the, if you go to the TDR Tokyo Dawn Labs and you look at their free plugins, you can get 4 plugins for free on their website. They are great options. I use the TDR Nova a lot. It really is very much recommended. Also, the variety of sound plugins. This has been absolutely fantastic. The variety of sound plugins have been freeware for years, but they've been 32-bit for God knows how long. And of course, with Windows 10 architecture and technology moving on, 64-bit is the norm now, so they weren't usable on a lot of the systems. But the Variety of Sound have now released a load of their plugins as 64-bit VSTs, so they are something worth checking out as well. So it's Variety of Sound. I've downloaded a few. I know they're beta at the moment, but they're certainly worth looking at. And I can't remember some of the names off the top of my head, but I was using one the other day. It was amazing. I know they do a Baxendale style EQ as well, which is great. So we're going to do a free roundup as well. So yeah, let's have a bit of a chat. If you've got any questions at all, I do like to open these up as a bit more of a Q&A style. So if anyone's got any questions at all, then please feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll go through and we'll answer some questions. And just while we're waiting, and have a little slurp of me beer. Also, what's your thoughts on stock plugins? Be really interesting to see. I think sometimes we get so focused on, oh, we need to buy this plugin, we need to get this plugin, or we need to buy that. Sometimes we kind of lose sight of stock plugins. And being a Studio One user, we are quite spoiled. I am a Sphere member, and I know subscriptions aren't for everyone. That's something else that we'll do as well in the future as well. We'll do a roundup with some of the subscriptions. Subscriptions, I know, aren't for everyone. Not everyone loves a subscription, which is why I didn't want to include it today. But some people do like subscriptions, and the Sphere membership, it is a subscription-based service, but it's great, and you get literally everything every native Presonus piece of software, including Studio One, Notion, and all the add-ons, all the sound sets and everything for one small monthly price. I think it's like $17, £13, something like this. About £13, I think it is. That is at the moment. So with Studio One, you are absolutely blessed with different options, and it's not always the case in other DAWs. So what do you think is the stock plugins? What DAW do you use, and what do you think of the stock plugins included in that DAW? Let me know. Okay, we'll leave it quite a few more minutes. I'm not in any rush today. I do like to try and keep these monthly live streams as engaging as possible. So if you do have any questions at all, please let me know. Drop a question down in the chat, and so I'd be more than happy to help. Studio upgrade. Fun times, fun times. I don't know if you can quite hear it. You might be able to hear it. The whirring sound of the computer. This computer it's been great, but it's just not really where I need it to be. It's a probably 6-7 year old computer now. It's running an i5 6 series CPU. It's a PC. It's a Lenovo all-in-one. It's got a terabyte solid state drive, 16 gigs of RAM. But it's an old quad core, 6th generation, no hyper threading, and the fan goes at the rate of knots. So I'm getting a completely new setup. I'm actually going dual computers. I'm going to go for a Mac, and I'm going to go for a PC, but I'm probably going to go laptop. And there's good reason for this as well. So the reason I want to get both is because I offer services in both, so it's going to be very much Mac and PC orientated, not one or the other. I'm really intrigued by the Mac M1. I'm hearing some fantastic things, and even though they're not native yet with Studio One, I'm still hearing from a lot of the guys who are using the Mac M1 some really good things about it. There are other things that I can't really say too much at the moment, and there are bits of other softwares not replacing Studio One at all, but in addition to Studio One, that are going to be M1 compatible, native M1 support, which I'm really looking forward to as well. So I really want to see, the technological advancements that Apple are making. I'm going to go for the Mac Mini, 13-inch MacBook Pro. The screen will be too small. I'm going to get a monitor here anyway, but I don't really need the Mac to be mobile, so that's not really something I'm too interested in. So the Mac Mini, it's either the Mac Mini or the iMac, and I want to get a screen that I can share between the PC and the Mac. So I'm going to go for the Mac Mini. That's going to be coming up probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So hopefully by the time the next live stream, you won't be hearing this awful fan that keeps going off every 2 seconds. In terms of the PC, probably going to go laptop. And the reason for that is just I have the budget to get a really good laptop. So the processor is not going to be so much of an issue. And I want to kind of have a little bit of working away. So if I want to go and do some video editing for the channel, if I want to go and do some, just maybe if it's just doing some critiquing, I've got so many interfaces that are mobile now. I can take myself upstairs. I'm not confined to the studio. I can go wherever and now do some do some different work, whether it's video editing or critiquing, or even do some engineering away from the desk. The Olo Audio S4X, if you haven't seen it, check out the video I did a week and a half ago. They are amazing. They're not the cheapest. They're about £350, give or take, roughly, but they are really amazing. And I kid you not, some of the some of the clarity on that is just amazing. There was an Autobridge song that I was listening to, and yeah, Miles Kennedy, he's got a great voice anyway, but when you listen to the vocals and you can literally hear the reverb decay, it just kind of brings the vocals all just to a completely different level. It's just amazing. So if you're in the market for a set of high-end premium headphones, then check out the Olo Audio S4X. You can get them globally. There is an Amazon US site. You can get them direct through Amazon Italy if you're in the EU, and there's also, I think there's an Amazon UK site. Have a look on the Olo Audio website for more details, but they are fantastic. So if you're in the market for a set of headphones, premium grade, and even though, as I've said this on the video, even though they are around the £350 mark, I would put them up against something at least double. So if you were looking at something like an Audeze or something in that kind of ilk, these would compare with some of the more premium headphones. Very much they would do so, and they are very highly recommended, not just by me but lots of other people as well. So check them out. So that's yeah. So I could take the headphones and take the laptop, and then with the interface, and go and spend some time listening to music in different environments, which is great. A little bit of cosmetic work. Some of the acoustics need to be done in here as well. So we've got the panels behind me here. You'll see there's two above me here. There's one there. The back wall needs some work though. So I need some, because it's a funny shaped room, I need to really work on the corners, the bass traps in the corners, and because there's a window there as well, I really need to kind of work on that. This room, we've kind of changed this room around a few times now, so I'm back in this position where I am here. I've moved the desk over there. I tried that, but obviously it's not treated, so there's a little bit of reverberation, so I've moved it back here for the time being, but I am looking at potentially going back that other side because of the window. Yes, okay, it's probably better here because there's a flat wall acoustically, but sometimes you've got to weigh up the pros and cons. Would I rather sit in a slightly lesser ideal acoustic space but have daylight coming through the window, or sit staring at a dark wall all day? It's one of those things that needs to kind of weigh up. So it's a lot of changes going to go on. Some of these are going to be cosmetic, just making the place look a bit more presentable, acoustically treat it a bit better, and I will be obviously taking you along that journey as well, so I can show you exactly what the considerations I've taken into account. Desk is something that we're looking at. Speaker stands. I've made my own speaker stands, which was a great journey. I really should have documented it. I didn't build floor standing. I built desk standing. But there's a very scientific process behind it. So if anyone's interested in understanding how I did that, let me know in the chat, or drop me a message, or email soundsimplestudio@gmail.com, and let me know, because it's something I'm very, very happy to document. It's really interesting when you start getting into the nitty gritty of the scientific acoustically properties of the speaker stands. Then yeah, it's quite an interesting process. If you're interested, let me know. But I'm quite keen looking at desk options, and I need something quite bespoke. So I don't know whether to go down the paid route or make route. So that could be quite interesting how I look at that one. Monitors I will be looking at, and interfaces I'll be looking at as well. I'm really trying to keep my setup as budget friendly as possible, because it's really the kind of things that a lot of people use, and I don't want to be sitting here saying, well, this is easy, I could invest in hundreds of pounds worth of monitors and really go to town with the interface and the conversion, and look at the conversion, etc. But just trying to keep it real. A lot of us are working in non-ideal environments, so it's kind of like, let's make make it work for us. And it doesn't mean you can't make great music in less than ideal environments. You really can, and that's exactly what this is about. What this channel is about. What the whole ethos around mastering in the box and Sound Simple Studio. It's really what it's about. It's about helping others to make great music in less than ideal environments, because there are so many people out there who are just not interested in helping others, and they will make these throwaway comments that everyone's meant to automatically understand what they mean, and they don't. Like I say, it sounds simple. It's not simple half the time, which is part and parcel of the process. So I really want to try and keep this as real as possible. So I want to share my thoughts on some great monitors out there. Try lots of different monitors out, maybe, and how they interact with the room. Room correction software. That is something that is very en vogue at the moment, very fashionable, and it's something that I really want to kind of look at. Maybe we'll do that as a bit of a real-time kind of update as well. We'll look at maybe how this room sounds, on how the frequency ranges are in this room, and how we can then modify the treatment to maybe counteract some of those deficiencies. So I'll bet you the bottom dollar there are going to be a lot of deficiencies in this room. So then maybe we can look at how we can treat those as well. So we'll have a look at that in due course as well. Enough of my waffling. No questions coming through in the chat so far. So if anyone's got any questions now, please drop them down in the chat. If not, we'll give it a last couple of minutes. If there's no more questions, then I'll call it a day. I'm trying to do these live streams once a month, and we're going to cover different topics. So we've had, obviously, budget-friendly plugins this month. We've had... Oh, blimey, what have we had in the last few months? Anyway, different topics each month, and I will continue that theme moving forward. So if you've got any suggestions on topics for some of the future live streams, then let me know. So the next one won't be now to the beginning of September. And like I say, hopefully I'll have some of the studio updates. So if you've got any ideas or suggestions, then please let me know. Drop us a message or leave something in the comments down below. If not, I might do something related to the new studio updates and just show you some of the different bits I've got and the reasons why. So yeah, please let us know any feedback on any future live stream topics. One thing I did forget to do, normally with the live stream, I like to give a shout out to someone, and I'm going to give a shout out to... I'm going to give a shout out this month to Johnny Lipsum Studios. Now, Johnny Lipsum, so if anyone, check out the YouTube channel, Johnny Lipsum Studios. He's a top bloke. He is an employee of Presonus. He's a regular on the Presonus Facebook groups, but he runs the UK live meetup. So we do a video meetup every month, and it's the last Friday of each month, and he hosts it fantastically. And it's probably one of those things he doesn't get much feedback for, and he does a really good job. The community, it's really good because we probably get now somewhere between, say, 12 and 15 regular people who join the video call, and it's becoming a nice community. And if you're really interested in joining one of these meetups, please get involved. There are meetups all around the globe. Lots of meetups in the States. We've got the UK one, which is obviously hosted by Johnny, and there are some in there was Netherlands, I think there's Philippines, Australia. Lots of these different e-meetups that are coming up around the world. So if you're interested in one of the Studio One e-meets or video calls, take a look at the Presonus Studio One Facebook group or on the Studio One website. Lots of information, but big shout out to Johnny. You do a fantastic job at hosting, and building a really good community. So thank you for all that you do for the e-meetups. Okay. Well, as there's no questions that have come through, I think we'll call it a day there. Yeah, thank you once again for all of your support. The Sound Simple Studio, I still haven't got used to the name yet. I really want to kind of, as I say, this is really, I really want to build a community. That is what all this is about, is building the community, sharing a lot of the knowledge that I've built up over the years with you guys, but also for you guys to share it with each other as well. And if we can start to build up a real good community, whether it's in the chat or via messages or via Facebook, then please let's do so. Reach out if you've got any questions at all. Let me know. Drop me an email. Leave me a comment down below if you've got anything at all. You've got any questions you want to ask, then please let me know, because I really want to make this as interactive and as user-friendly as possible, I suppose. It's trying to give you all the information that you need and what you guys would like to know. So thank you for all your support over the year that it's been so far through this YouTube journey. And yeah, all that's left for me to say is I hope you all keep safe and well. And I'll see you in the next video and a next live stream coming real soon. Thanks, guys.